Hey guys, welcome to the studio for another video, and I want to talk about hardware or external gear and whether you really need it or not. If you're recording directly into the computer using a program like Sonar or Reaper or Samplitude, Logic, Cubase, all the variety of software programs that you can use, and most of those programs are set up to where you pretty much can do everything in the box, or so to speak, or inside the computer, and you don't really need any external gear for effects or processing or that sort of thing. And so you may really wonder, do I need to have a lot of external gear in my home studio? Now you can see behind me I've got a fair amount of gear, and a lot of it actually I've had for quite a while, and I will admittedly say that a lot of it I'm using less and less nowadays. Once I have things recorded in the computer, I don't really rely on the effects that I have outside of the computer to process my audio. However, I like to hang on to some of these effects because I think they sound really good. Some of them really have a signature sound to them, and I use them with my signal going in. For instance, I might have them on my keyboards when I'm recording an audio track, a live audio track, or I might have them on my guitar or something like that. Also, things like compressors potentially can be helpful, but nowadays, since we can record in 24-bit, you can keep the record levels down low enough that you don't really have to worry about clipping. I've got a rack over here that's basically kind of set up for my keyboard, and I've got a sound module, and I've got some effects processors and some old digital reverbs that I actually kind of like. Like I say, they sound good on certain things, or they might sound good on drum tracks if I'm using that sort of thing. But like I say, once I'm pretty much inside the computer, I really don't rely on them very much anymore. And so these guys are really seeing less action nowadays. I've got some other gear over here, some noise reduction and some compressors that I will occasionally use. They have gates built into them, so sometimes I'll use them just depending on what my sound source is. And then the mixers that I used, again, these aren't really used for my recording all that much, except I use them for routing things, use it for the mic preamps built into the mixers, and other than that, you know, they're really not a necessary element in the home studio. Now, you wonder, why do I have them? It's because I like using them, and sometimes you just like having that extra piece of gear that really fills the bill at that time, or you just kind of really, just like a spring reverb. Sometimes you just want to have a spring reverb sound. Well, maybe sometime I just want to have one of those old vintage digital reverb sounds, or I like to use my old Symmetrix 501 compressor. It's kind of a bass crusher, so it's good on bass guitar tracks and that sort of thing. So they're more specialty items nowadays. Admittedly, back in the day, 20, 30 years ago, when I did a lot of recording, the hardware was very important in the studio, and so some of these pieces are kind of holdovers from those days, and so I hold on to them a little bit for sentimental reasons. Plus, I like all the blinking lights. But you can make up your own mind. But if you were to ask me, do you need hardware for recording nowadays into the computer, especially have a full-featured program like Sonar Platinum, I would say no. You can just go ahead and use that program and have something like an external keyboard that you would use as a MIDI controller if you're using keys or need to trigger MIDI somehow, either drums or keyboard parts. But I think, that's really all you need nowadays. That's I don't know what to say, except I'm a gear slut, but we'll talk to you next time in the next video, guys. We'll talk to you later.